Barry Snyder's executive track record spans more than 25 years at such companies as Warner Brothers, Studio Facilities, PostLogic Studios, and now Media-Mine. He's adept at taking iconic legacy collections of media and devising new ways to access, revitalize, and repurpose the content. I love the phrase revitalize and repurpose. It sounds like there's money in it somewhere. Barry,
there's a question in there somewhere, right?
Barry, thanks for joining us today.
Guys, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
All right, we got to ask first, what is Media-Mine?
Well, Media-Mine's a digital media asset management company, which is basically we take media content, film, video, audio, text, scripts, photographs, letters. We digitize them. So we create a digital asset, a digital file. We transcribe it and create metadata for it, keyword metadata, searchable data for it so it can be found. And then we try to find cool ways to repurpose the content. So we work with film companies, estates, celebrities, sports teams, universities, museums, even retail products companies, people that have legacy content that's sitting around collecting dust, and they try to figure out ways to use that content to help them perpetuate their brand, whether their brand is their celebrity or whether their brand is a consumer product or some piece of content. We're helping them try to build that brand and reintroduce that brand, revitalize that brand.
This isn't like product placement or something. I mean, do we find some of your stuff in movies and television shows and commercials and et cetera?
Yeah, so we're taking out. So there's two ways that we actually help you monetize or repurpose content. Certainly, licensing content in the traditional sense, where you get pieces of content, legacy content that's placed in commercials and television shows and movies and documentary films and print and press and that kind of stuff. And then there's the other way, which is using new media. So games, apps, Netflix, iTunes, websites, could be educational materials, over the internet or what have you, to get the content out more to the consumer market. So there's kind of a business-to-business perspective on it, and then there's the consumer, purchases of the particular content.
Well, you've got probably some of the most recognizable names in your stable of collection, in your collection, just because I know the answer. Who are some of the media collections you represent?
So we work in varying degrees with the Johnny Carson Foundation and the Carson Entertainment Group. We've created a Facebook trivia game called the Here's Johnny trivia game that's in the market right now, and you can hit it on Facebook. Karnak, that magnificent app, which is out there, all based on the Karnak on the Johnny Carson classic character. We work with Don Rickles, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Wagner. And have their collections that we help them manage, and have recently released an Edith Ann game based on Lily Tomlin's classic character that's in the market right now. We work with Norman Seeff, who's a photographer of iconic, iconic rock and roll celebrities, and has recorded hundreds of hours of interviews and footage, as well as his entire photographic library that he has. And we work closely with Norman Seeff. I actually was just down in Bermuda at a TEDx conference where Norman spoke. I get to do this glamorous thing.
Oh, do you actually get to talk to him and have a drink
Norman,
with him on the beach? Oh.
Yeah, I was. Norman is a very spiritual, very artsy guy, and has amazing stories with working with the iconic rock and roll and celebrities that he's worked with over the last 40, 50 years. Pretty unbelievable. And so those are the kind of things. We just recently signed an agreement with the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce to create a Walk of Fame app that will surface all of the legacy content that's in the Chamber of Commerce's collection over the last 50, 60 years since the Walk of Fame came into existence. And you'll be able to walk along the boulevard and put your phone or your iPad over certain stars, and you'll be able to surface all the content that's surrounding that particular celebrity or that particular producer or director or filmmaker, whoever's on the star. And we've also kind of created a trivia game and a scavenger hunt along the boulevard, along with incorporating all of the retailers there as well. And that's slated to release next summer. So we get to kind of do these cool projects where I'm kind of like Indiana Jones. I get to go run around and look at all these legacy collections in varying businesses. And, like I said at the beginning, it can be from anywhere, right? You can get the collections, a company that sells retail products, that's a 100-year-old company, can have as many iconic assets in their coffers as maybe a celebrity or studio can. So it's very cool.
Well, we got tons more questions for you, but We've got a couple on the live chat. What's your website? Because they typed in Media-Mine and can't find it.
Yeah, it's www.media-mine.com. So there's a dash in there.
And it's MINE.
Like a gold mine, correct? Which is kind of our whole philosophy, that we're mining nuggets, diamond nuggets, gold nuggets out of these historical collections.
Yeah. Well, speaking of mining, though, do people come to you or do you go to them?
It happens both ways. We've been around for about 2.5, 3 years now, and now that we have a reputation and we get to talk to nice folks like you, people are finding us more and more because they're looking for ways to use their content, and they look to us as experts to do that. We do go out and we have identified hundreds of collections that are in varying states of either being underdeveloped for a variety of reasons or underfinanced. There's a lot of estate collections where people have passed away, and there's content in estates that, for a variety of reasons is sitting dormant. So we do go out and are actively in the market looking for partners to help exploit, and I mean exploit in a good way, their content. But then people also call us as well. So it just depends.
So, wait a second. Be honest. Do you actually watch like Storage Wars and pawn shop reality shows?
You would think we do. It's amazing. When you really consider that any company or any production company or any retail products company, university, museum, any of those, let's call them businesses, have been around for more than 10 or 15 or 20 years, they have war chests of content. So it's not like we're starving for clients and collections. Every company is a prospective client. Trying to discuss with them what the value of their collections are. Not every collection is valuable. It might be valuable in some cases just archiving the collection just so it becomes a digital asset so it doesn't degrade any further. Sometimes just getting them off of their legacy format and into a digital format preserves the collection. So sometimes that's people's motivation. Sometimes they want to use it internally just for sales and marketing and publicity and working with their agencies or whoever for their salespeople so that it becomes a tool to work for the company. And then sometimes there's which is the more common, which is I want to monetize it and I want to make money with the collection. So there's just tons of content libraries out there, and we just get to see the coolest stuff. That's just, it gets really excited. And I'm kind of a pop culture, fanatic. I love looking back at historical content and seeing what the value is and trying to reintroduce that content into the more new media current market.
Okay, so let's just pretend for the moment that I have a library that I want to do something with. Okay. What's the process? Do I contact you, and do you then own it? Do I own it? How does it get marketed?
There's 2 ways that we work. We have a service model where you can come to us, and we can work strategically with you to kind of prioritize your content, and then we actually have an archival facility, a digital facility that has all the legacy, all the old-time tape decks, and it's very cool, all the different ways that we can transfer the content. So we actually go through the process with you of prioritizing it, then we do the physical digitization and the transcribing. We do convert, transcode all of the content into its proper format for delivery to wherever you want to deliver to. And then if you want us to stay involved on a kind of a publicity, sales and marketing, social media, letting people know about the collection, we can do that as a service too. The other way we work is that, in a lot of ways, that these collections are underfinanced. So let's say you were coming to me, but you didn't have the physical, the financial resources to actually do all of this work, because it can be pricey depending on how much collection you have. We might reduce or defer some of our service fee to take an equity stake in the collection and revenue share with you. So we kind of partner with you. And we really like that model because, first of all, it gives you confidence. A lot of people that come to us don't have the wherewithal, the knowledge, or the market savvy to say, okay, even if I do digitize my collection, what am I going to do with it? We need your help. So this way, we kind of get joined at the hip, and we have skin in the game, and we're able to help you monetize or repurpose your content as you see fit, and we stay involved. And it lessens your upfront out-of-pocket costs. So we can work in either of those ways, both as a service provider, just for a fee for service, or as an actual partner.
Okay, on the other side of the coin, I'm doing a TV show, and I want to use a clip from Karnak the Magician. I have to deal with you, right?
Well, yes. We will either be a liaison with the content owner, or for Carson, you would go to Carson and we would facilitate that for you, certainly. In some cases, we have more control over certain collections. In other cases, we just are a facilitator or an agent for the particular content owner. It just depends on what our relationship is with each of the content owners. Every one of these deals, because of the uniqueness of the collections, and because of the end uses and the purpose of the collections, is different. So while we have kind of a general template, if you will, for how we work with clients, everyone gets customized. But we would certainly be the liaison and put you in touch with, let's say, the Carson group to be able to license the Karnak content that you were looking for. Yes.
So you're really the middleman between the person that holds the license, in the case of Carson, and the end user that wants access to it.
That's absolutely the case, and certainly people go direct to Carson if they want, and that works for them. It's all about how do we help build the brand, and we benefit if they benefit. So it's all good any way it works out. In some cases, we have more, like I said, and we have more control of collections where we really are the point person, and we will actually make the deals. And in some cases, in Carson's case, they're really more in control of that particular collection. We're just helping them out.
I have two technical questions. The
Sure.
first one is, when you digitize these materials, what format are you storing them in?
So that's a very good question, and I have an excellent technical director in a brilliant guy named Keith Wheeler that actually handles all that for us. We usually, it depends if it's video, audio, photographs, and it depends on what the end use is. So we do digitize in kind of 10-bit uncompressed video formats, and we put them in different wrappers, a .mov wrapper, or it could be in a ProRes wrapper. It just depends on what different type of storage. But we try to digitize in the highest common denominator that we can use. So if it's standard def, we're either up-resing into an HD high definition format, or we're putting it in a full uncompressed version. If it's already high definition, we're capturing at that rate as well. So 1080 or whatever it is. So we're trying to preserve the highest resolution that we can for video, for audio, for film, and then we transcode, meaning we take the native file format, which we call a mezzanine file. That's the highest resolution, and we transcode it either into a low resolution proxy file, so you can stream it on the web easily without because the file size gets really, really huge, and you can't stream it flawlessly on the web with where people want to look at the content, and then they'll order up the high resolution files if they want to license the content, or we transcode it into whatever the delivery format is. So if it's delivering to YouTube or Netflix or wherever it's going, they have a certain format that we have to transfer the file or transcode the file into and deliver it.
Okay,
I hope that answers your question.
No, did a great job. The second one is, how are you organizing all these elements? What software are you using? Because that's a massive tracking job.
Well, we have there's a number of user interfaces that we can create, and there's a number of off-the-shelf properties that we use that are what we call our licensing portal, or our digital content management portal, and there's a number of them. And we then work with the client and the provider. So we don't, we haven't designed our own portal. We have all the servers, and we host all of the content on our servers, and then we use whatever type of device, whatever type of software that we need to run, and customize it for that particular client, and then that's what they engage their content on. So if it's a consumer-facing site, it might be one way. It might be a general website that's, could be even as simple as a WordPress site or something like that. If it's, really high-end business-to-business content where we need people to come on and license content and interact with it in an e-commerce format and be able to do all that stuff, then we might design it in a different way. So those sites, those portals, if we call them, the web portals, are all customized for, each client.
And Barry, where can people go on the web to learn more about you and your company?
So www.media-mine.com.
And the president and co-founder of Media-Mine is Barry Snyder. And Barry, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Very much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.